Welcome back to Just Scrap Radio on BJPenn.com. I'm your host, Cole Shelton, episode 45, ahead of UFC Vegas 32. We got a really good lineup with you. First up, we're going to be joined by heavyweight Chris Daukaus to preview his fight against Shamil Abdurakhimov. This is obviously a big fight for Chris, who's undefeated in the UFC, who's looked very impressive, coming off the win over Alexei Oleinik in the first round, knocked out Rodrigo Nascimento in the first round, knocked out Parker Porter on short notice in the first round. Shamil's an interesting guy. Obviously, hasn't fought since 2019 at UFC 242. Had a couple canceled fights. It just never kind of fizzled out. But interesting fight. Chris was surprised this was his opponent, but this is a big opportunity for Chris to really jump up the heavyweight ranks. Like Shamil's a guy that's ranked 7th in the division. Chris is ranked 10, so he thinks a win here, he probably could get a top 5 guy. And next, we're going to be joined by bantamweight Tyler Phillips to preview his fight against short notice plays in Holy and Paiva. Obviously, this is just kind of disappointing what me and Kyler kind of went through it, but disappointing news for him that he's supposed to fight Rafael Assunção. Kind of everyone knows who Assunção is. This is a guy that's fought the who's who with bantamweight division. He ends up tearing his bicep. He has to pull out, but Kyler just wanted to stay on this card. He wanted to remain active, and he gets Paiva, who's ranked at flyweight, moving up. But Paiva's coming off that good win over Song Yadong. He's just worried about staying active, getting a win over Paiva, and he thinks he can get a top 10, top 15 guy next time out. But then we're going to be joined by Ian Heinisch to preview his fight. This is a really interesting fight against Nassim Imavov. Obviously, Ian Heinisch's last fight at UFC 258, he had a big step up in competition against Kelvin Gastelum, lost that fight, and now he kind of fights an up-and-comer in Nassim Imavov, who's 1-1 the UFC, beat Jordan Williams, then lost to Phil Hawes. But Ian Heinisch has kind of been a hit and miss in the UFC. He obviously started out his UFC career looking very good, beat Justin Stempter on the Contender Series, then he beat Cesar Ferreira and Carlos Jr. and Antonio Carlos Jr., loses to Derek Brunson, Omari Akhmedov, knocks out Gerald Mearshart, then loses to Kelvin Gastelum. This is one of those fights where, if Ian kind of mentioned it, like he needs to win this one if he's going to be a top 15 middleweight, and he thinks he has a style to beat Imavov, move down to Sanford MMA, so he thinks this is kind of this is going to be his breakout performance after, especially having a full camp at Sanford. And we're next going to be joined by Randy Costa to preview his fight against Adrian Yanez. This is going to be a sweet fight. Both these guys are really excited to it. Costa coming off that big win, a knockout win over Journey Newson in September. He had a minor back injury, so kind of went through that. But this is a fight he's really looking forward to. He knows this is a fight that the fans are going to love, and he thinks this is a fight that him and Adrian are going to have a rematch years down the line, either for a belt on the line or when they're both in the top 3, top 5 of the division. And we close out the show talking to actually his opponent, Adrian Yanez. We got both sides of this fight. Really good chat with Adrian just about how this fight kind of came together, his thoughts on Randy Costa and what a win over Randy does for him. Really good chats, both guys. Also, I tried to get Macy Barber on the show. She's out in Sacramento, Team Alpha Male. The connection didn't work, but we just did a phone call, so they'll just be written interviews with that. I think that's probably the only interview she said she's going to do for media, so really good chat with her, but that'll just be written. It won't be on the show, but keep your eyes peeled to bjpen.com for that. But thank you all for listening. Be sure to share the show, subscribe, and thank you again. All right, we're joined by UFC heavyweight Chris Daukaus, is back in action July 24th. Chris, how's it going, man?
It's going good. It's going good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Obviously, fighting Shamil. This is, I think, opponent that kind of came as a surprise just because he hasn't fought since like 2019. When you got the name, were you surprised this was your next fight?
Yeah, I was like, I kind of was taken back by who it was. Not the ranking or his abilities. Just, he's, like you said, he hasn't fought in a while. I heard that he was trying to fight again earlier this year, but he had some visa issues, so it was a little apprehensive to take the fight strictly because of I don't want to put in a full camp and then have those things pop up again. You know what I mean?
And this is a guy, like, even though he hasn't fought in a while, like, he's still ranked 7th at heavyweight. Like, he's really high level. Yeah. Like, you look at his last losses. His last 2 losses are Curtis Blades and Derek Lewis, who are 2 of the best. And then he's beat guys like Walt Harris, Andre Arlovsky, Marcin Tybura. So, like, but not fighting for 2 years, like, how hard is it to prepare for him? Because you don't really know what he's added or what he's going to look like.
Yeah, that's kind of like the biggest thing, I think, is just his time off. You don't really know what type of improvements he made or anything like that. I'm going to assume that he's obviously made improvements because he's a world-class guy. He's number 7 now in the world. He comes from a great team over in Dagestan and Russia over there. So he's not, I don't think he took any time off. I think it was legit just visa issues. They couldn't get any kind of, help with that. So I was actually expecting to get like Sakai or, someone like that. But I'm more than happy to get up and scrap with this dude. So
He is ranked 7th. Like, were you surprised you got a top 10 guy after the win over Olynyk?
A little bit. I was hoping that I would get a top 10 guy. That's why I'm here. I want to fight the best guys in the world. I want to prove that I'm one of the best guys in the world. So, I'm okay with it. And he hasn't fought in 2 years. I just hope that everything goes good and he still makes a dance on, July 24th.
Was this the right time frame for you, the end of July? Because this is a pretty quick turnaround. Or I guess, what, 5 months since the last one?
Yeah. This year, I kind of want to get in, at least 3 fights, maybe 4 fights this year. So this will be number 2. So hopefully get another quick turnaround after this fight. Maybe September, October, and then maybe, one in December. So, barring any kind of injuries or anything like that, hopefully it works out and I can get an opponent for each and, one of those months. So.
How do you see his fight playing out? Because Shamil, the way he's lost a lot of his fights is he gets taken down, but you're obviously a striker yourself. So, like, do you think this is just going to be a stand-up fight?
You know what? It can go either way. I'm not really sure, how well he's been, just training wise. I've fought 3 times. Yeah, 3 times since August of last year. So I'm ready to go. I'm always, improving every aspect of my game. So, if we get tied up, I might take him down and finish from there. It really is just kind of, seeing what happens in the cage.
What do you think a win over him does for you? Like, it's obviously going to put you in the top 10, but it's just 4-0 in the UFC, especially if you get a finish, like 4 finishes. Like, I think you get a pretty big fight next.
Yeah, and that's, you're just, at this point in my career, I'm just taking the, whether it's a rank guy or a big name, I'm down for either one. So, it'll definitely, propel me that much further. Look at look at the people that he's lost to. You were saying Derek Lewis and Curtis Blades. They're all the big name guys in the division, and I hope to add my name to that list.
Like, your guy, your first 3 UFC fights all ending in the first round. Like, are we going to see a second round out of you? Or are you hoping another first round here?
Hey, listen, I don't get paid by the minute in there. So if I get the first round finish, I get the first round finish. It is what it is. It's just something that I'm super comfortable with. I find the finish in the first round, and if people can stop it, they can stop it. But I'm more than happy to go 15 minutes. So.
Do you think because of that, there's still going to be people questioning your ability? Like, oh, what happens if he gets out of the first round? Because you see that with a lot of people that finish their fights early. It's always, oh, well, what happens when they get to the second? What happens when they get to the third? Like, do you think those questions are going to start happening about you?
Absolutely. I kind of think they're already happening now. I mean, people want to see, what happens, how I react going into the second round, and if we go into the third round to see, the full variety of my skill set. And you know what? It's a fight. Anything can happen. If I finish them in the first round, then so be it. But, I'm more than ready and willing to go full 15 minutes.
Are you already on a new contract? Because I know most contracts go 4 fights, and this is your 4th one, obviously.
Yeah. I already renegotiated another contract. I got another 4-fight deal, so I'm real happy with everything. So it's good.
How crazy is that? Like, you debuted August. I remember it was like super short notice. And you're already on your 4th fight, not even a full year later.
Yeah, it's crazy to think, especially with everything that's happened in the past 18 months, how my life has changed, completely around. I couldn't be happier with everything, with everything that my manager has done for me, the sport has done for me, and the UFC has done for me. So I'm forever grateful for everything.
Could you have pictured this a year ago, talking to you, that you could be potentially ranked in the top 10 in the UFC?
No, but I was definitely, something that I was shooting for and hoping for and working for. So, it was definitely an attainable dream, and I'm glad that I'm right there.
Are you still doing the policing? Or I remember you were talking about maybe leaving that, or are you still doing it?
I'm kind of like halfway in, halfway out. Actually, the day after my fight will be my 10-year, anniversary with the police department. So after that, I can officially leave with a little bit of a pension if I so choose. And I believe that's what I'm going to be doing.
Hey, going back to that question about your cardio, like, I think people just need to look at your brother and what he does in the 3rd round. Like, I don't think you would have bad cardio if he's pushing you all the time.
No, definitely not. Yeah, trying to keep that monster off me, for the past 8 weeks, 6 weeks certainly been a task. And you know, I- I'm okay with people questioning my cardio because they haven't seen it, but once they see it, those questions will go out the window.
Smaller octagon at the Apex. You've done it before. Like, you think that's gonna play a factor in the fight?
No, strictly because that is one of the biggest cages I think I've fought in ever. So, especially on like the regional scene over here in like the northeast of the United States, all the cages are super small. And when I mean small, I mean literally like I can have one hand on the cage, I can take a step or two, and me and my opponent are literally touching. So it's a bigger cage for me than what I've been used to. So I haven't set foot in the 30-footer yet. So hopefully soon when crowds open it up and I get into a packed stadium.
Well, yeah, I've talked to tons of people from like Philadelphia, New Jersey, Massachusetts, and they're literally like, it takes a step, and I'm in the middle of
Yeah.
the cage.
Yep. That's it. Yeah. Like that's just all the promotions around here. We have smaller cages, so we're okay with fighting in smaller cages, and kind of once we get into the bigger cages, it's a little it's a little freeing, So it's good.
How weird is it for you too? Like, fourth UFC fight, and you still haven't even been in front of a crowd. Like, you imagine
Yeah.
getting to the UFC in front of these sold out crowds, traveling the world, and it's just been at the Apex in front of no one.
Yeah, and that's what I still feel like I haven't had the full UFC experience. I mean, I've been going to the UFC headquarters, going to the Apex, doing all that to the PI, and I'm fully engulfed in the UFC, but I still feel like I haven't had that full experience of, the UFC pressers, the open workouts, the weigh-in team, like everything, and then making that walk in front of, 15, 20,000 people. So it's something that hopefully um, I can check off the bucket list.
You obviously you were on 252, which is a big card, but I think this one probably is the next best thing. This is a really good card. Like, if Sandhagen, Dillashaw, like
Yeah,
you have Aspinalled, Macy shoots on, you have like Macy Barber back. Like, oh,
yeah,
what's like for you? Because there's a lot of big names. And there's gonna be a lot of eyeballs, especially with Dillashaw's return fight.
yeah, definitely. I was supposed to be fighting on I think their last one, but it ended up being Sandhagen and Marlon. But yeah, it's definitely we have a lot of up and coming guys, big names on this card. Um, it just sucks that it's not in front of a crowd. That'd be really good. But yeah, all the eyes are going to be on this card, especially with Dillashaw coming back. It's a big story. I'm excited to see that. So hopefully, get done, fight over real quick, get back to my room where I can hang out at the Apex and just catch some fights.
Uh, the heavyweight division, we just had Cyril Gahn beat Volkov. Like, what do you kind of make of the top heavyweight division? Because it's kind of crowded. You have like
Yeah,
Ngannou kind of waiting for Lewis. Jones and Miocic are both saying they're going to hold out for the title shot. Gahn's
yeah.
now saying he's going to wait for the title shot. So, like, what do you kind of think of that? Because there's like four possible guys you could fight that are all just going to kind of hoping that they're going to be next in line.
Yeah, you know what? If they want to wait out, that's fine with me. I'll fight everybody who's not going to wait out for the title fight. So it doesn't matter to me really. If I get past and when I get past Shamil, whoever's left standing, I'll gladly take them on.
Do you think you're going to kind of have to wait regardless after this fight? Just because there's a lot of key heavyweight fights already matched up, like Blades, Rosenstrucker matched up. Obviously,
Yeah.
Volkov just fought. Like,
Yep.
those kind of guys are who I think you probably get, and I think they're probably gonna want some time off as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, they're definitely gonna want some time off. I think Volkov is definitely gonna reassess, especially adding the weight. He said he added like 20, 25 pounds or something like that, to see how it goes. I mean, they could give me someone like Tybura. He was saying, he wants to get in there, and then, some of the up and other guys, Sakai. We'll see how that goes. So, I'm really open to whoever wants to fight. I'm really open to it as long as it makes sense.
The one name everyone said about after your last fight was Tom Aspinall, which I
Yeah,
didn't understand at all. Like,
yeah,
is that like, I think that's a fight both you guys I think are going to be top 5 pretty soon. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why you guys don't like why the UFC wouldn't do that when you for like a number one contender fight. I don't know why it has to be
Yeah,
now. So many people were trying to get.
yeah. And that's what it doesn't make sense to me either. Like, we're both up and coming prospects. We are both, a big following behind each of us. He's got all of England. I got the United States and everything. It's really good. We're both, making finishes. We're making waves in the division. It's if it's a smart business thing, the UFC will wait. Obviously, they're gonna wait till we get further and further towards the title, and then put us together then. So I'm fine with that.
Your brother, obviously coming off the loss to Phil, like when's he kind of looking to get back in there?
I think he said September, October would be a good timeline for him. So we'll see. Whenever he's physically ready and mentally prepared, we'll be getting back in.
Are you guys hoping to be on the same card one day, or do you think that's too much, like just for both of you guys to deal with?
No, I mean, excuse me. No, we fought on the same card earlier in our career, both when we were pros, so it doesn't matter to us. If it happens, it happens. If not, no big deal. I'd like it to be a pay-per-view card. We're a bigger card to showcase that and have the UFC push us a little bit. Like the brothers are fighting. So, if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do, and I'll gladly do it.
Did you guys have any bets of who gets the belt first or anything like that?
Nah, nothing like that. We're both just trying to become the best martial artists and the best in our respective divisions.
Do you ever have to let him know that you could still beat him up, though? I assume the older brother
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes. You got to let him know, maybe like I give him like a little squeeze, a little, body lock, a little squeeze, let him know that I'm a heavyweight and he's an 85er, so yeah.
Just last thing, assume you get your hand raised here. Like, are you going to tell the UFC, like, get me on one of these pay-per-view cards so I can finally fight in front of fans?
Absolutely, yeah. I get my hand raised, I'm talking to whoever is interviewing me, I want on a pay-per-view card. Obviously it would be great. Be top 10 heavyweight. Why can't I be on a pay-per-view card? It would be great. Whoever they want to match me up with, I'm fine with it. Doesn't matter to me. And we'll start making some moves.
Yeah, because I'm sure you're watching all these cards. Like, it's totally different. Like, like after the past year, I'm like, oh, I can deal with watching it with no fans. But after watching like 260 on 262, I'm like, I was an idiot. Like, they all have to have fans.
Yeah, I absolutely cannot wait. I'll travel anywhere. Doesn't matter to me. Wherever they're going to have fans at, wherever they're going to have a full stadium at, sign me up. I'll go.
All right. Well, Chris, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks for doing this.
Of course. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. We're joined by UFC bantamweight Tyler Phillips, who's got a kind of a short notice fight coming up here, a short notice replacement, I guess. Kyler, how's it going?
Good, man. Getting ready to fight in the UFC.
I just kind of want to touch on that first. How disappointing was it when you found out the news, like Rafael Santos, that's a guy kind of everyone knows, like perennial top 10 contender. He gets out, and then you get Julian Paiva, who's obviously not as well known as Santos. Like, what kind of went through your head when you found all that out?
It's like get out of here, dude. Oh, my keys? Sorry. I don't know. Okay, yeah, I mean, well, dude, of course you can get pissed off, but what can I say? What can I do about that? What am I gonna dwell on the past or something I cannot control? So let's on to the next dude. Let's go beat somebody up, and then let's get paid by the UFC. I mean, it's like a no-brainer, dude. It's pretty sick.
Did you think about maybe not fighting on the 24th and try to see if you get a ranked opponent a bit later on, or was it always I'm fighting on July 24th?
Oh, I just want to fight. Once I get started, it's like there's no pulling me out. You know what I mean? So, like, I was just super focused, ready to go and fight on this big stage or on this big one. And, whether or not I get a fight ranked opponent, it's like get more experience as well, and I get to make another statement. So it's like, why not?
I just quickly want to touch on your last fight as well. Like, do you kind of think that was your breakthrough moment for a lot of fans seeing you beat Song Yadong? Because Song was a guy that had a lot of hype behind him.
Yeah, I mean, that guy's tough as hell, man. That guy, that guy hits hard, and he's very durable, and he's very quick as well, and he stays mentally in the game, and he's a warrior. But I did a great job, and I beat him, and that was just a showcase of, one of the parts of me of who I am. And I've been constantly still growing those abilities and getting better at all that stuff in my life. So I'm just ready to do it again.
And what's kind of crazy is your teammate, one of your close friends, and it was Casey Kenny, who's now fighting him. Like, I talked to Casey like yesterday, and we were kind of talking about your fight where you landed like clean head kicks on Song, and he acted like nothing even happened to him. Like, how durable that guy is crazy.
Yeah, he's super durable. I would agree with that. But with that one head kick, it was just it went over. It kind of skid off the top. If I dropped it down a little bit, it would have been game over. But yeah, I think that also gave me the opportunity to have a 3-round battle with him too, which was really sick because that was in the first round.
Because before your first or your second UFC fight, you kind of just dominated Cameron Ells. Even your debut against Silva, so like even though it went 3 rounds, like you were kind of in control. So to have that kind of back and forth fight, like was that something you were wanted just to kind of show off that you can go 3 hard rounds?
Yeah, I had that in my first fight as well, to put the volume up and mix it up with everything, takedowns and elbows and knees and kicks and everything, my jiu-jitsu, my pressure and my spin stuff. It's just cool to be able to showcase my skill set. But also it's like you want to win. And so like if there's an opportunity to finish the fight, definitely I'm a killer. And that's something that the animal inside me will always go for. It's got to be smart about things.
Your opponent, like, are you surprised this was who you're fighting? Because Paiva's a flyweight that's obviously moving up to fight you.
Yeah, he's a man that's ranked number 12 at flyweight as well, and he's a pretty big dude. He couldn't make weight, so he couldn't make weight at 25. So he's pretty big. I think his last weigh-in was at 129, and so he's probably put a little bit of weight on, and then getting ready for this fight, and he's taking it serious. And I know that he's going to try to come for my head, and let's bring it. I can't wait for him to try to take my head off because I'm going to bring it to him.
How much do you know about him? Because he's got 4 fights in UFC. His first one, like, really close fight against Kai Kara France. Then he loses his second one due to a cut. But since then, like, knocked out Mark De La Rosa, had a really good fight against Zuma Gulov his last one. Like, he's looked pretty good as of late.
Yeah. This is the highest level, and whoever they throw in the octagon with me in the Matrix world is like, it just gives me the ability to do what I do and do what I love, and I just can't wait to go put it on them in so many different ways,
Was this the right time frame for you to return, or were you hoping to get a bit sooner than this?
It's been 3 months, so, but it feels like it's been a long time. I don't know why. I feel like I've wanted to fight sooner. Maybe because that last fight was quick, but yeah, whatever.
How do you see yourself beating Paiva? Because Paiva is a very durable guy. Like, he took some of Kai Kara France's toughest shots, who's kind of known as a hard hitter flyweight. But then again, like, getting hit by a bantamweight is probably a bit different than getting hit by a flyweight.
Yeah, that guy's he's durable. He's very durable, and he's got a lot of heart too as well, and he hits hard. But I think I'm a very scary opponent for anybody, man. Anywhere, anybody that's going to step in the octagon. It's just kind of going to fight myself. There's a lot of areas that are just hard to, or easy for me to go to. You know what I mean? I mix it up very well as far as speed, angle attacks, in and out, pressure, going with the flow, spinning stuff, putting it on as far in power shots, body, hitting the leg, mixing levels up as well. So like, I think I really get people kind of like, like that. And once I get them in that mental space, that's when I can really thrive and take them out. So I get them.
Do you think your style's one that's like you're gonna become a fan favorite pretty soon? Just the way you move, the way you throw all that spinning stuff, like that's a style that a lot of fans like to watch.
Yeah, of course there's like karate this or spin stuff that, but you don't want to compare yourself to other people. I've got a completely different skill set, and my whole life I've been working in so many different martial arts, and as a fighter and training myself in so many different concepts and principles of being able to, defeat the opponent. I just feel like definitely. It doesn't matter what I say. There's nobody like me. There's nobody with this fingerprint I got. There's nobody that can mix it up like I do. And at the end of the day, we're all human. We're gonna step in the octagon and fight another man. It's a fist fight, so you got to be a little bit aware of both of those. Stay mentally ready, and I'm gonna unplug that dude on that day.
Back at the Apex, like smaller octagon, do you think that impacts the fight at all, or no?
Yeah, same thing. I'm a performer. I perform with the lights on or with it's off. Big crowd, small crowd. I love the feeling of the big crowd. I can't wait till that. But you saw my last fight as well, and the Dubai one, the COVID fight. That was no crowd is, and I did the same thing. So that's the thing as well, is like being aware of that constant life that's inside of you every day. Like whether somebody's watching or somebody's not watching, you're still doing the same thing. You're still making those choices. You're still having fun. You're still loving what you do. Those are the type of people that they thrive.
Are you hoping your next fight is on one of those pay-per-views in front of a crowd?
Yeah, that would be sick. That would be sweet, man. I feel like definitely need to, especially the exciting style I have.
You get your hand raised here. Like, are you hoping to get at least one more in this year?
Yeah. So again, I just spoke about that. It depends. You can plan for the future, but not worrying about things that you can't control. Like anything can happen. If I have no injuries, like definitely, if I don't get any injuries after this fight, I definitely want to get another fight, maybe even another one. But whatever happens, maybe some things happen in between, whatever. I'm just gonna keep constantly growing and doing some Matrix stuff.
Are you hoping the Asuncio fight gets rebooked down the line, or are you just kind of hoping it's any ranked opponent next?
Yeah, I don't really know what's gonna happen, but I'm down to fight anybody.
Is the plan?
I mean, that would be cool if I could fight him. That would be sick.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's scared though. You think he's scared, or did he get injured?
I
don't know.
I think it was the guy. I think he tore his bicep. I think he wrote or something like that.
Yeah, see, I don't even know, dude. That's the thing. I don't really put too much thought into those type of things. Like, damn, he tore his bicep. That's what they said.
I think that's what he put on Instagram. It was something. It was like a bicep or a shoulder, something like that.
Okay, well, shoot. I hope he gets better, man. Yeah, whoever, him, another guy. We'll see.
Is the plan though get yourself a ranked guy, because you yourself are in the rankings now?
Plans to get the belt, always.
Yeah.
And so no matter if it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, even 100 people I got to go through, I'm gonna grab that thing because that's my goal.
You got a little like good bantamweight kind of team around you right now. Like you got O'Malley, you got Casey Kenny, you got Mario Bautista, and the thing is, like, all four of you guys are fighting within like a month span. So what's kind of training like where you guys are all kind of peaking around for that same date?
It's just, it's good to be around that. You know what I mean? If you hang around high levels, it's just good being around that energy at the gym, and those guys are all hardworking dudes. Sean's got that. He's fighting. Dude, he's got a lot of hype, man. In that Conor McGregor's fighting, bro. Dude, this is sick. I don't even know how like crazy it's gonna be in Vegas this weekend, but I can imagine it's gonna be nuts. So many Irish flags everywhere. But back to that question, it's fun having those guys there and just watching them grow as well. Like watching them, how far they've gone, and the type of decisions they make, and the things they do in their camps and not in camps, and the things they focus on. You can kind of see like what grows, and then you can kind of see the outcome of those commitments they make to. So it's cool to see all of us on different paths, but like kind of doing the same thing, and watching it grow. And that's all it is. It's all about growth and character growth and getting better, and being around like-minded people is an awesome thing.
Are you and Sean in any sort of competition of who can get a better knockout? Because you guys both have some good Spanish stuff, some good viral knockouts.
We're so different. We're so like I don't know. Like we both have a lot of hype. Well, at least I hype myself.
Yeah.
Maybe not have 1 million followers, but hey, I got more hype myself, dude. So yeah, I mean, I don't really focus too much on competition stuff like that, but it's cool to see that. You know what I mean? We thrive off each other. It's not like a jealousy thing. It's more like a encouragement. It's like, oh, that's sick. That's the type of energy that I like to be around.
O'Malley's hype though, like it's insane. I have so many friends that are like super casual. They'll watch McGregor, Masvidal, and now Adesanya, those three. But somehow they always know when O'Malley's fighting. They'll always text me to watch, like come over to my house and watch O'Malley. I'm like, that's crazy. The guy's not even in the top 15, and he's like on the same page as what like McGregor, Masvidal, and Adesanya are to my friends.
And that's what it's about too, though. Like I'm one of those guys like. I'm going to do my diligence, work hard, and like, do what I got to do. I'm ranked 14 in the bantamweight division. But, at the end of the day, you can't point a finger at somebody else. They're making money. Yeah. They got hyped. At the end of the day, that guy's got a second house. Like, he's got his whole family out here. He's running so many things positively as well. And, like, he just had a kid. And it's like he's bringing money home to his family. And, no, it doesn't matter like what people say if he fights a ranked opponent or this or that. He's doing his job and he's the best at what he does, and same thing with me. It's like you just gotta have fun. That's what it's about.
I asked Casey and Mario this too. Like, what happens when you all four get to the top of bantamweight division? They said you guys are gonna run a little bracket in the gym and figure out who fights for the belt.
Fuck those guys. No. Those guys are my best friends, dude. Dude, those guys, it's like in the gym when we're training, it's like we push each other, and then outside the gym as well, we hang out, do things, have fun, and then just shooting the shit, having fun everywhere else. It's like it's just a lifestyle, we try not to take things too serious as far as being super serious, but because it really is, it's like fighting and stuff, it can be serious if you're just thinking about it all the time. So having these guys too was like me and Casey, we could get a fight. I don't know. We had our last 2 fights together on the same card in Dubai and stuff. And so we're out, having a couple beers at the pool in Dubai and then going to Vegas, like having those experiences together and then going to fight together. Like it's fun, man. It's sick, dude. It's almost like superheroes, you go and battle and then like it's yeah.
Would you only ever fight those guys if a belt was on the line? Like, assume you guys aren't fighting each other if it's not for the title.
Yeah, I was just saying that too. Is like, it only makes sense because there's so many people in the division. There's so many people to fight, and you've seen it. Look, I'm ranked, and O'Malley's not getting a ranked guy, or he's not fighting like some of the people are calling him out. There's so many people in the division, not just ranked, like that. They're willing to fight as well, and building up to there, it's like, okay, let's take all these other dudes out, and then if we got to fight each other, let them make it to that level, and then we can fight each other for the title, make $1 million. It's like so, and then retire, and then come back, be the bad guy, be the heel, and then go against Jake Paul, go up and weight, get super bad. No, go down and then fight Heinisch.
Dang. Just last question I got for you. How big of a part of you and Casey's camp, just considering you fought Song back in March?
We kind of like have our own things that we do, but then we also have the things that we do together. It's a little bit of both. I think it's more of like a honor, respect thing. You see, like, 'cause I fought Song, and I know that guy's a G, and I'm like, damn, bro. I'm like, so I messaged him. We messaged back and forth. Super cool dude. And like, now Casey's gonna fight him. Then we punch each other in the face at the gym. Then we see each other, and he's like, yeah, we'll fight Song. It's more of like a hell yeah type of thing.
Yeah.
So, fuck that guy or type of shit like that. So I don't know. It's pretty dope. It's cool to be at this age. I just turned 26, a couple weeks ago, and I'm just like, damn, I gotta go grab a belt, bro. For reals.
All right, well, Kyler, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, man. You have a great one, Cole.
Yeah.
Later.
All right, we're joined by UFC Middleweight Ian Hinisch, who's back in action here coming soon. Ian, how's it going, man?
It's going great, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. I was coming back the end of July. Like, was this about the right time frame for you after that fight against Gaslam?
No, actually, just a lot went on. After the fight, I was healthy, I was hungry, I was like in great shape and just ain't itching to get back in there. But I always told myself after that fight, I was going to come check out Florida and try out Sanford MMA because my buddy Nate Marquardt had been down here. And, especially losing that fight in the wrestling department, I know the coaching and the caliber of wrestlers down at Sanford. I knew I had to get down there. I actually turned down a fight with Jacare just because I didn't want to wait till late May, which they offered. I wanted to fight in April, like early April. I was ready to go. But then once I got down to Sanford and talked to Henry, he wanted me to get adjusted to the gym, train there for a little while, which I agreed with. And he wanted to sharpen up some of my tools. And, so it all worked out the way it was supposed to. I was ready for a short notice in May, but it didn't work out. And, obviously I have a wedding June 5th, so it couldn't be in June. And here we go. We're in July 24th. We're going to be ready to go and looking to stay super active after that.
Oh, was the Jacare fight the pay-per-view he fought on anyways? Was it that date?
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been another big fight for you then, but I guess timing
would have been
worked.
Perfect. Yeah, it would have been perfect. And they said originally late May, and it turned it out to be mid-May. But it kind of sucked. I came to Sanford, and then Henry told me that, and I was like, oh, actually, I'll take that fight. But he already had an opponent, and it all works out the way it's supposed to, man. It gave me time to really get some stability in my life and settle down. And we're closing on a house this week, so it'll be good to have a home base for the first time in over a year, and really just to actually have some stability, settle down, and be able to just focus on this victory.
Are you at Sanford like full time now?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, was the Gaslam fight the one that really triggered it, or was this something you were kind of thinking about for quite a while?
No, it was something I was thinking about quite a while. I'm still using my my boxing coach Jacob Ramos from Genesis Fight Team, so he's going to be in my corner, and we still get work in, and he'll probably be flying out here a few times throughout camp. And but no, man, it's really something I planned on doing, even win or lose, draw. I was planning on coming down here. I wanted to get back to my roots, my wrestling, and I know they have an amazing wrestling program as well as striking. I just knew the killers that were down here, and also outside of the cage, man. The ocean's right here. The weather's amazing. The policies, everything was free and open and maskless, and I was able to live how I want to live and be close to the ocean and be able to fish when I want.
What did you take away from the Gaslam fight? Because that was a very close fight.
I just took away, to not prepare for a certain style. Like I was so fixed on his striking, and I felt like I was doing the better in the striking range, but he was getting me with the wrestling, and just kind of focus on just training with all different styles and just be ready for anything, because I feel like good fighters change their style almost every fight, and I'm going to be fighting good fighters. So I just need to be ready for anything. I'm not even looking at tape. I honestly don't even know the guy's name. I know my teammate Phil Hawes fought him 2 fights ago. I watched that fight, but other than that, I'm just going in there to perform, man, and get back in my winning ways and start this end this year off right and go back on a winning streak.
So your opponent, obviously Nazarene Imavov, like, do you not really watch much tape then? Is it more just focusing on yourself?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I did. I feel like I watched too much tape with Gaslam, and just, it was like in my head, I'm like, man, this guy almost put Israel out. I got to watch out for this and this. Instead of just going in there, man, training with all these guys, obviously try to find more tall guys to train with that are orthodox, but at the same time, train with southpaws too. He might come out southpaw, like, I don't know. But I'm going to be ready for any style. And I just need to perform, man, and get back to where I want to be in this division and show that I am a force to be reckoned with. And everyone's tough in the UFC, but this guy, I feel, he's not even ranked. So, I've been throwing with the killer since the beginning. So I'm excited to just go be me and go get a big victory.
How much have you talked to Phil about that fight and what he did, or do you not talk to him about that?
Oh, no, yeah, me and Phil talk all the time. He's one of my main training partners, and Yeah, I mean, he's just kind of giving me his 2 cents. He strikes with me. He spars with me. He knows what I'm good at, and he tells me what I should focus on doing against this guy. And yeah, I mean, there's not too much to talk about, you know. I mean, the guy caught him with some elbows at the end, but other than that, he got dominated. So yeah, man, I mean, like I said, I'll be ready for anything.
How do you see this fight playing out?
Man, honestly, bro, I've seen me stepping in that cage and taking care of business. Like whether that's submission or knockout, I don't see it going to the judges. I just got to go be me and perform, and the good stuff is going to start happening. The big wins are going to happen. So I just got to go be me.
Oh, what's it like training at Sanford? Because it's kind of so weird to me. Same with like American Kickboxing Academy. Like it's named kickboxing. Henry Hoof, one of the best kickboxers. It's a lot of wrestlers out of that gym, but I guess you kind of get the best of both worlds. You get the wrestlers, then Henry Hoof. Like I'm not really sure you can learn from a better kickboxing technical striker than him.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, that's what it is. You know, we got all these amazing wrestlers that come here because they know the striking's so good. But at the same time, they bring that skill set, they bring that mindset. And we have amazing wrestling coaches. Greg Jones, Kami, amazing coaches. And just the level of excellence and the accountability and just how it's such an encouraging gym more than like no one's been to the top. I'm going to be the first one to the bell. I'll step on you if that's what it takes. It's more, hey, we produce champions. It's what we do. Let's everyone like elevate each other to be there because that's what we're about. And it's not this like, you know, I feel like trying to cut each other down to get ahead. And everyone's just encouraged. Call. Hello, I'm back.
Yeah, I got you. I got you now. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah.
Your former opponent, Derek Brunson's there. Is that weird to train with him, or is that all like you guys are all cool?
No, man, there's just a ton of respect. You know, I grew and learned so much from that fight, and yeah, and he's doing his thing, and you know, it's good to see a guy who beat you really excelling and climbing the rankings. And I know I'm right up there with these guys, man. It's inches. It's such little, you know, adjustments that I need to make. I'm right there with these top guys in the world. And I know that being around these top guys and rubbing elbows and training with them and I'm gonna fix that and I'm gonna be one of these top guys, you know, fighting for this belt soon. So it's just amazing to just be around this atmosphere of so many of just excellence.
Well, what do you think a win over Imavov does for you? It's an unranked guy, but your guys fought a lot of those top guys. Like I think win year gets you right back to where you were. You're fighting guys in that rankings.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, man, I'm just focused right now, just improving, getting settled in here, and go just in performing and getting back in that winning column, and then we'll take a look when it gets a little bit closer. But at the moment, man, it's all my next fight, July 24th. I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna put on a performance and really get myself back to where I want to be.
You're fighting at the Apex, the smaller octagon. Like, how do you think that's going to impact the fight?
I don't know if it does impact the fight. I guess if someone has a ton of I come forward in pressure, so I guess it's in my advantage. But yeah, I mean, I wish it was the crowd, man. I'm really missing the crowd. I went to the Jacksonville live, and that energy was just something I miss, man. I miss fight week. I really miss all of that comes with it. So, you know, hopefully this will be my last one at the Apex, and just looking to go take care of business, man. That's it.
You look at Sanford as well. Like it's not like it's a lot of high level fighters, but it's a lot of winners too. Like I think the gym's probably on a massive winning streak. Like they probably got to be running at like 70-80% for wins. Like how much confidence does that give you seeing your teammates go out there and get wins as well?
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing. Every weekend we got guys fighting, we got guys winning, and at the highest levels. So, you know, the system is proven. The system is amazing, and it's a system that you can really trust in. And that's what I'm doing. I'm trusting in the system, and I know it's going to get me to where I need to be to go win this fight.
Who's going to be in the corner? Henry Hoof is going to be in there, I assume, and then your boxing coach you mentioned.
Yep, and then probably one of the teammates, my teammates for a body. So,
you mentioned you want to be active. So like, what's the goal? Get this win, and then what? 1 or 2 more fights this year if everything goes your way.
Yeah, hopefully, God willing, two more fights. I would love that to get a good 4 fights in this year. Last year I only got 1 because of the pandemic and COVID and all that. So this year I want to be active, especially being settled down with a home gym. It's the perfect formula to be an active fighter and go get some wins.
Just last thing, like middleweight division is getting pretty stacked, but where do you kind of see yourself at the end of the year? Because I wouldn't be surprised if you're knocking in that door, the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely. I just need to go get this win, take care of this, and yeah, my plan is just keep climbing those rankings again. Let me get some wins, let me get that confidence back up, get this winning streak, and start making my way towards that belt again.
All right, well, Ian, man, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
All right, we're joined by UFC bantamweight, and I guess the biggest Reese's supporter out there, Randy Costa. Randy, how's it going?
Doing good, man. I appreciate you having me on. How you doing today?
I'm doing well. Obviously, when this was all getting made, like I talked to Adrian like a couple days ago, and he was kind of still surprised it came together through Twitter. From your vantage point, like, is this about the weirdest fight booking you've had come through like a result over candies and on Twitter?
I mean, mine in my career, 1,000%, and it's probably the craziest that I've seen. But dude, it's just so cool that, and I don't mean to blow smoke up my ass or pat Adrian's back too much, but we have 2 very exciting, prospects in people's eyes, and neither of us are talking shit to each other in any sort of negative way. Neither of our fans are attacking each other in any sort of negative way. This fight was built on 100% positivity, and it's just so fucking cool to see that people are so excited for a fist fight that was put together on almost complimenting each other. It's just really fucking cool, and we're gonna deliver, dude. I know we're gonna deliver. Adrian's a tough kid, man. He's super exciting to watch. He didn't want to fight me because I'm boring, and I didn't want to fight him because he's boring. We know what we're going in there to do. I'm just excited to get in there, man. It's gonna be so fun. I can't fucking wait.
I'm sure you probably saw when this fight got announced, there's a lot of people thought, oh, why are you guys fighting now? Because you guys can fight 2-3 years down the line when you're in the top 10, top 5. But he actually brought something interesting too. He said, look at Poirier Holloway. I think that you said the same thing too, is they fought when they were young, then they rematched, and the rematch was for a belt, and it's even bigger. Like, is that kind of how you're still feeling about this one?
1,000%. And of course, I see both sides of the argument. Obviously with Poirier and Conor, it was much different because one guy had like much more of a push than the other guy. I don't think Adrian and I are ahead of each other or behind each other in any way. I think we're both kind of on the same playing field in terms of like hype and stuff like that. I think we're both like young, exciting kids who have like a good, like, project ourselves in a positive way. Neither of us, in contrast to McGregor and Poirier, there was obviously one guy who talked a lot, and there was one guy who was like an OG, like real savage fighter that put the fight together and it became something. Now we have 2 prospects who are kind of on the same playing field in terms of like the push that we're getting, competing against each other. And I do think that our fight, I don't know, I don't think it could be who knows? I don't know if it's going to be as big as like a McGregor and Poirier type deal, but I think there's a lot of potential with this kind of thing. I don't think either of us loses stock with a loss. I think the winner gets a lot more stock. The loser gets some stock, but I don't think that either of us like lose our position kind of where we are. I think we've both done a really good job at building this fight up in a way that we're going to have people excited for it. We have people looking forward to it. And who knows, if we have an exciting fight, people are going to want it again, and we're going to keep doing it and try to build it up. Who knows, man? I'm rooting for the kid. I fucking hope he becomes champion one day, and I'm sure he hopes that I become champion one day. I don't dislike the kid. I just want an exciting fight, and I know Adrian's going to bring it.
Just before you get more into your fight, I want to touch on, you're obviously supposed to fight Trevin Jones at 259. You had to pull with an injury. Like, was this July timeframe kind of when you could fully get going, or was it a bit later than you thought?
I was hoping to get booked a lot sooner than this. Man, I'm kind of frustrated because I'm not frustrated, but I'm frustrated because, my fight in September, I had that quick head kick knockout. And when someone has a exciting finish like that, they typically give them a quick turnaround time. We were trying to get a quick turnaround time fucking right away. Hey, dude, I'm ready. I want at least one more before the end of the year. I'm ready. And then it just didn't happen. So we got booked for March. So that's what, 6 months after September. And even that's a way long layoff for, coming off an exciting win and no injuries. That's the other thing. And of course, I get fucking injured before March, so I have to get pushed. So now I'm on like another 10-month fucking layoff. I've been ready since, March, beginning of, or mid-April probably. I fucked my back up pretty bad. It was nothing where I needed surgery, but I really needed to take a step back or it was going to really start impacting my future. I didn't have a choice. I didn't want to. I obviously felt awful for Trevin, and I wanted to fucking fight. But sometimes that's not in the cards. That wasn't in the cards for that night. So it is what it is. I'm excited for the opportunity that I have. I'm going to take advantage of the opportunity I have, and I'm going to make sure that people remember my name. And hopefully, I can get another big exciting win, and then get a quick turnaround time, and hopefully, we don't have to have another conversation about a fucking another 10-month layoff.
I don't think you have to sell this fight to a lot of people, but like stylistically, like how do you think you match up against Adrian? It's just when I was talking to him, he thought you were more of a kicker, he was more of a puncher. That's kind of how he kind of broke this one down.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair assessment based on the footage that I have, but you also have to remember that I'm so new to this game. I mean, look at my first fight in the UFC to my second fight in the UFC. There was a massive gain, and that was 6 months. Then from my second fight to my third fight in the UFC, another massive gain. That was another 6 months. I've only had 7 pro fights, dude. I haven't been in this too long. I mean, he's not wrong with what he has seen, but I think I'm going to open a lot of people's eyes on the 24th. This fight is fucking awesome. Adrian's really good. Adrian can fucking put your lights out. He's tricky. He's hard to get a read on. He has really good movement, great counter punches, good punches, and he uses his range very well. He uses his trickiness very well. But again, you can say a lot of those same things about me. So this is a very exciting fight. I don't think either of us are necessarily, one is a better puncher and one is a better kickboxer. I think we're both really high level MMA fighters. I think we're both really high level kickboxers, and I think the fans are in for a good fight. I'm not gonna come on here and say that Adrian fucking sucks. He's beat bums and he's I'm gonna knock him out. Maybe I'll knock him out, but I mean I'm not gonna rag on the guy. He's doing performances. He has to I have to respect that. He's fucking killing it. It's just I'm excited to get in there and share the cage with someone who has been such like a positive like role model for the sport and how he's conducted himself and how this fight came to fruition. And I watched a couple of interviews on Adrian and he's really cool, man. People are asking how that fight didn't come together in Houston. Adrian had all the power in the world for when he was asked that question to take a massive dig at me, Costa's this, Costa that. But he didn't. All he said was, there were some problems that came up and that didn't allow us to fight at UFC Houston. I don't have anything but respect for this kid. I just can't wait to go in there and fight, man. It's going to be so awesome.
If you look at Adrian's early losses, like it's high-level guys. Like he lost 2 splits to Domingo Pilarde and Miles Johns are both in the UFC. And the Miles Johns for the LFA belts, he went 5 rounds. But the thing there was he got taken down. He kind of got controlled. Obviously, that was years ago. But you're not Sanford, a good wrestling gym. Like, do you kind of think maybe you might take this one to the ground and see if he's improved on the ground?
Dude, he can say that same. People can say that same thing about me. Dude, that was years ago, and I'm pretty sure that he just started like actually, training full time for this less than a year ago. So I don't really like give a fuck what. I can't like judge his, talent based on fights that happened years ago. Like now is when he's really indulged himself in the sport. Then it was, obviously not a hobby, but it was something that he couldn't make the number 1 priority. I'm expecting the best Adrian Yanez that the UFC has ever seen, that anybody's ever seen. I'm expecting a really tough fight. I don't think he has those kind of holes in his game where maybe some people could read his Tapology record and see that. People can see my Tapology record and be like, oh, he's just a one-punch kind of guy. Like that's obviously not necessarily true. I don't think I threw, a single punch in that 40 seconds leading up to when I had kicked Adrian. It doesn't really fucking matter. I'm expecting the best Adrian, and I know he's expecting the best Randy, and it's gonna be a good fight.
How do you see this one playing out? Because I think my pick or like predictions kind of off the board. I think this one goes the distance. I don't think either of you guys finish them. I think you guys are both such high level boxers. I think you guys are both so durable that I don't think either of you will be able to knock him out. I see everyone saying like, oh, whoever wins is going to be first on knockout. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes all 15. It's like a fight of the night bonus instead of a performance bonus.
Yeah, it's an exciting fight, and I'm not one to make predictions, man. I'm going to say second round double knockout. That's my prediction.
What do you think a win over Adrian does for you? Like, to me, I think this is the perfect like fight where winner of this gets a top 15 guy, because I think especially if one of you guys do get to finish, like it's going to add just more hype to your name.
Yeah, I mean, if either of us get a finish, I think that only warrants us to, at least start having a conversation about facing the guys that are, later in the top 15 rankings, like the 13, 14, 15 type guy. Top 10 is off the table. We probably won't see those guys for another 2 to 3 fights unless we obviously step in as a replacement. But a win over Adrian does a lot of things. It opens up a lot of doors. I'm on a two first round knockout streak at this point. One with a right hand, one with a head kick. He's on a 2-fight knockout streak. One with a right hand, one with a head kick. I think if either of us get a finish this time, we're gonna become kind of household names in the UFC. We're gonna start getting a real push. But man, I mean, a win for either of us does a lot of things and opens a lot of doors. And I think the loser still has a lot of other doors opening up, because the fact of the reality is that, Adrian, I'm probably not gonna fight like a someone who's as smooth on the feet kind of as Adrian. And Adrian, people may say that Adrian might not fight someone who's like maybe as explosive as I am. It's a double-edged sword, but a win for either of us does some big things, and I think we can start having conversations about that top 15, top 20 type range. Who knows, man? It's gonna be an exciting year. I just can't fucking wait for the 24th.
Smaller octagon at the Apex. Do you think that's going to impact the fight at all, or just kind of force the action more?
I mean, Adrian and I'm sure we'll be down to fight in a phone booth, man. We don't really give a fuck. I mean, my first, I've only had one fight in the big cage. And that was at the only pay-per-view I fought. All the other cages, I'm not sure what the size of the cage is in the Apex, but on the local scene when I was fighting at Cage Titans in Massachusetts, that cage was tiny. It was like 2.5 steps to the middle, or 1.5 steps to the middle. The big cage in UFC, I need fucking binoculars to get across to see, my opponent. The cage of the Apex, I think, is a really good size, man. It's Adrian and I, we're not fucking 6'2" and 250 pounds. We're smaller guys, so we don't need all the room in the world. I think it's gonna be an exciting fight, man. I can't wait.
How disappointed are you that the fight's just on a fight night, no fans? Like, this is a fight that should have been on a pay-per-view that needs the fans.
Yeah, man. Again, that's another double-edged sword. I mean, we get on a fight with a pay-per-view, and the chance of a bonus is a little bit smaller.
Yeah.
Now we have a chance to fight maybe closer to the top of the card, get a little bit maybe different kind of eyes on us. The TJ and Sandhagen fight is that same night, so obviously it's going to be people who are interested in the bantamweight division watching that, and that's kind of the eyes that we want to see. If you put us on a card with like Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou, that's the fans who are the heavyweight fans may be a little bit different than the people who are the bantamweight fans. So I think I'm okay with this spot, man. I don't really care. I would obviously like to fight in front of fans, but I mean, it is what it is. It's going to be an exciting fight regardless. I mean, you can put us in a football field, it's going to be an exciting fight. If you put us on a tennis court, it doesn't fucking matter. I don't care who's watching. The cameras are going to be on, and we're going to go out there and we're going to throw our limbs around without any regard for safety.
I think they haven't released like the order of the card yet, but I think that perfect spot was you guys opening up the main card, because like you have obviously Dillashaw Sandhagen, that's main event. I assume that Aspen Ladd fight will be co-main. Like Tyler Phillips will be on the main card. I assume Macy Barr will be on the main card.
Is the Tyler Phillips fight still on?
Oh, I think it actually might. I don't know. I think if there was rumors, it might be off, but
I don't know about the rumors. All I know is what Rafael Assunção posted on his Instagram.
Yeah, I saw that. That's why I didn't know.
A fight in 3.5 weeks is going to be a real tough timeline to return from with a torn bicep.
Well, and then I just think you guys kicking off that main card and just kind of having these like a bantamweight to open up the main card. That's an exciting fight. Just gets more people hyped up for that main event.
Yeah, and all it really takes to kind of hype our fight up is show a couple highlights from both of us. I mean, we don't need to have like these one-liners. Oh, Adrian's a fucking dickhead. Oh, Costa fucking so. We don't need that kind of stuff. You don't need it. Our styles are gonna kind of speak for ourselves. And I think that once they start pumping out like some videos and trying to hype that card up a little bit, I'm sure you're gonna see some Adrian's head kick knockout, my head kick knockout. You know, I think they're gonna sprinkle those in, and I think we're gonna get a pretty good spot on that card. I don't really give a fuck too much about where it is. I would definitely like to fight earlier than later because that night is also the Gypsy King and Deontay Wilder. Yeah. So that'd be pretty dope. But yeah, dude, I don't really give a fuck. I think that the opening main card spot, I think that definitely makes sense in terms of like what's gonna drive some eyes. But I have no idea. I'm ready for whatever. I don't really give a fuck. I'll fight first, whatever.
Just a couple more things. Like your guy even talked about in this interview, you're still so young to the sport where you get leaps and bounds better every fight. But now that you're I think this is second full camp at Stanford. Like how much better do you think you've gotten? Or is this your first full camp at Stanford?
It's a camp and a half, I guess, because I was doing the camp getting ready for Trevin, and it was like 3 weeks out before. So I'd been training at Stanford since probably like October, like, yeah, about 3.5 weeks after the fight, 4 weeks after the fight, give or take. So I've been there for, you know, what, it'd be 8 months at that point, 10 months, a long time. I think I'm gonna open some eyes, man. I'm getting a lot of good attention over there. Henry Hooft, he's fantastic. Greg Jones, all the coaching staff, Kami, Jason Stout, all those guys. They're so fucking. I can't say enough good things about them. They're just like such good dudes, and where I feel like I'm a part of the family. They've really went out of their way to make sure that I feel that way and I feel welcome. And you know, I think I'm in the right place. I think I'm in a really good place going into this fight. And I think we're going to see a lot of improvements and a lot of, you know, the way that I handle myself in the cage and the movements that I make and what I'm trying to go after. I think you're going to see a very clear, you know, result of what I've been doing the last 10 months.
Who are you training with at Stanford? Because they have a lot of high level guys and a lot of guys like they have like Caldwell, Borix around your weight class. Like, are those kind of the guys you're working with?
Yeah, I mean, I work with Caldwell a little bit. He's cool. He's a beast. I work with Adam a little bit. He's cool. He's a beast as well. I'm working with I'm probably gonna butcher his name. Yuya, what he fought?
The guy in one championship.
Yeah, I can't pronounce his name, and I don't mean any disrespect, obviously, but I work with him a lot. He's a fucking awesome dude. I'm working with a Brazilian guy named Emerson. He I don't know, Oliveira or something. He was like one of the OG Nova União guys. Worked with Aldo and all those guys. I'm working with a lot of good guys with it. You know, Adrian has a very unique, or not really unique skill set, but he's really good at a couple things. And I need to make sure that I'm ready for those. So I'm working with good guys. I'm ready, man.
How's the Florida living? Better than out in Boston?
Doesn't suck, bro. Doesn't suck. I'm not going anywhere.
It's nice year-round warm weather.
I just can't get out of the beach, bro. I can't get out. I'm going to go into that cage and I'm going to have the fucking best tan on the card. You can hold me to that.
Not going to any baseball games, though. Still not getting into it.
Oh, no way. No way.
Just last thing, I even told Adrian this. Your little battle, I'm with you, though. Reese's are way better than Dr. Pepper.
I mean, it's a fucking no-brainer. I thought it was pretty clear, but apparently some people think otherwise, and it's fine. Whatever.
All right, well, Randy, man, I appreciate the time as always. Thanks for doing this.
All right, dude. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, we're joined by UFC bantamweight Adrian Yanez. He's got a big fight and a bit of a rivalry for this one coming up. Adrian, how's it going?
Man, I'm doing great, man. I'm loving life. You know, everything, like, there's been a lot of good things that's been happening. So I'm really excited, man. Yeah, nothing but good vibes all around me.
Obviously, you're fighting Randy Costa. Like, for people that don't know, this fight basically came together through social media. How you guys are arguing, how you think Dr. Pepper is better, he thinks Reese's Peanut Butter Cups is better. Like, is this one of the weirdest fights you've had coming together through that way?
Man, yeah. Honestly, that's the weirdest way I've ever gotten to fight, and man, I kind of like it. I kind of like it, man. It's pretty cool because usually it's more like mess talking. People are usually looking like. Anytime I've had a fight, it's usually been talking mess or little shots here and there. I think the nicest fighter I fought, well, I have two nicest fighters that I fought. One was Nico Echeverry, and the next one was Kyle Estrada. You know, Kyle Estrada, super nice. Took a selfie at weigh-ins. You know, I thought that was pretty cool. But this is actually by far like the weirdest way I've gotten a fight, and then also just the way it was formed. You know, MMA Twitter kind of ran the wheels off this and pretty much pushed us downhill just so it can be like got it together and just started getting into something bigger. So I love it, man. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, this fight was basically made on Twitter after it got so much attention on Twitter. Did like one of your two camps go to the UFC and say we like this fight, or did the UFC just see it on Twitter and they're like, man, maybe we should make this fight?
Yeah, well, here was the thing is that we were trying to get on UFC 262,
Yeah.
and I was trying to get on that card like immediately, like right after the fight. Like right after the fight, I was like talking to my manager. He's like, "How serious were you about UFC 262?" And I was like, "I am super serious. Like I'm gonna fight in Houston. Like that's exactly what I want to do." And then by the time the weekend was over, me and Randy were already going back and forth, about what was better and everything. And then like we had MMA Twitter going nuts about it. And within that time, like my manager was talking to Sean. She was like, "Dude, this is the fight to make. You get a Houston guy to fight on UFC 262, and you don't even have to look for anybody. Like we got the right guy. Like the right guy is right here. Randy Costa is like, these two are gonna produce a hell of a fight. Like it's a hell of a fight that I think not only Houston would love, but everybody in like anybody in the stands would love, or like MMA Twitter would love. I think it was one of those things, and certain things it literally almost popped up last minute, the week of, but certain things kind of just didn't fall through. But either way, we still got July 24th, so it sucks that we're not gonna be able to fight in front of fans, because I feel like this fight would have been fan friendly, and it just would have boosted both of our popularities, win or loss, both of our popularities very high, and it just sucks. It just sucks, but I wish it was in front of a crowd.
And not even because you're Robert or anything, or not like Robert, just the jokingness of it. I'm surprised the UFC booked this fight, just because you two are like, to me, I think you two are like the two top prospects at 135, where I think this is a fight that could easily happen 2-3 years down the line when you guys could be like in a number one contender fight.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're, but also everybody, like there's some give and take on like MMA Twitter. Like some people were saying, it's like, no, this is happening way too soon. I don't think the UFC want to put this fight on because these are two up and comers. They show great potential. Maybe they can fight further down the line. But also, we both know that like we're both gonna be at the top anyways. We're both gonna like be on a parallel line going to the top anyways. So if we fight now, we're possibly gonna fight again later on. It's inevitable for the both of us because he's good and I'm really good. So it's one of those things that I do see us having a rematch in the future. So to me, it didn't matter. It didn't matter whether it was now or later. But at the same time, a lot of people were kind of just like, oh, I think this is too early. But nothing's ever too early. Dustin Poirier fought Conor McGregor, I think, when Conor McGregor was like 3-0 in the UFC. So to me, that's like same trajectory. That's fine. And then after that, he went to go do all those wonderful things. So to me, it doesn't matter. It absolutely doesn't matter when I fight somebody, because at the end of the day, I believe I'm gonna win, and I'm gonna still keep climbing that ladder. And if they're good enough, we meet down the line sometime. So it's all the same to me, because honestly, it's like one of those fights that we fight, and then it's such a great fight that, man, down the line you would want to see that fight again anyway. So to me, we're both about it.
Well, I know even Randy's brought it up that he thinks this is similar to like Poirier and Holloway when they fought. It was like Holloway's like first UFC fight, Poirier's fourth. It was a good fight. Then they rematched for the belt like years down the line. It was a massive fight. Like I wouldn't be surprised if that's what something similar happens to you too.
Oh yeah, but I'm Dustin Poirier both times. Yeah, so I don't mind it.
With this fight, like obviously you two both like highlight reel knockout artists. Like both of you guys have a lot of power. He's kind of more of a kicker. Like how do you kind of see this fight playing out?
Man, I see him being really aggressive, and that's what I'm expecting. I expect him to be really aggressive, and if he slows down, then I know he's worried about like what I bring to the table. But if he comes in like super aggressive within the first round, then I know he's gonna try to make a statement. He's gonna try to make a statement, or if he kind of takes it in, is really patient, then I know he's gonna be I know he's going to be cautious of what I can throw back. So either way, the way I'm looking at it, it's all positives for me. So in my eyes, I just see it going nothing but good. Like it plays into whatever I want anyways. Like I think his style is very aggressive, and if he kind of slows down, then I'm like, oh, if he slows it down and like takes his time, I'm like, oh, okay, he knows what I bring, and he's kind of like a little bit timid from it. But if he comes in aggressive, I know he's just like, no, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if he has power. And it plays right into my style, anyways. Like I'm a bit of a counterpuncher. I can lead, but I haven't had to lead, so that's to me it's a it's a win-win situation for me. So I love this fight. I love this style of fight.
Do you basically think what I've seen from Twitter is a lot of people think someone's getting knocked out in this one? Is that kind of what you kind of think? It's either gonna be you or him getting knocked out?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think that like whenever I've been watching his fights, I know he's probably gotten a lot better from the last time he's fought, but from seeing it, I'm like, okay, I I feel like he telegraphs a little bit too much, but it's you can say whatever you want until you get into the cage. So to me, I think I'll get the stoppage, but also if he can take what I'm giving him, then it's gonna go all 3 rounds.
Do you think he's gonna shoot on you? He's working at Sanford, and there's a lot of good wrestlers at Sanford. Like, do you kind of think he might come to wrestling?
I wouldn't be surprised. There's been times where I've hit somebody in the face who wanted to strike with me, and they turn into a wrestler. So to me, it's cool either way because I really love the anti-wrestling part of fighting because if he shoots in early, and he's really fighting really hard for the takedown, for me, I'm so used to defending takedowns by now that like it doesn't bother me. Like I love defending takedowns just because I know what happens to people's arms after they take a shot and they don't get it successfully and they try it for a second time, they try it for a third time. Their cardio is dropping. Unless your name is Khabib, but but like I know what it does, and it just leaves it open for me to hit him. Like it makes for an easier target for me. So I love it either way. If he wants to become a wrestler, because he was like a heavy striker and he wants to become a wrestler, then that's completely fine with me too. Because if he's only been down there in Florida for a year, I don't think his body would have been like completely acclimated. Like there's some wrestlers that they're able to go 3 rounds, 5-minute rounds for the whole entire time, but you can still see the diminish of their wrestling shot kind of just dwindle down like every single time they take a shot and somebody defends it successfully, especially when they put all their power into it. So to me, it doesn't matter either way. I think he went down there just because he's like, I don't want to get taken down, so I'm gonna work with all these wrestlers, so I can minimize that problem. I keep standing and knock somebody out. So he pretty much got the same style as me, except he's a little bit more aggressive. I'm a little bit more reserved. So I'm excited for it. Like I am really excited for it because if he shoots in, then that's another thing that's a win in my belt. It's like he shot in first. He shot. It's like he was the one that was nervous about this. So I'm like, it's all a win-win situation for me. I love it.
Well, what do you think a win over Randy does for you? You guys both have a lot of hype. You guys have talked about two of the top prospects. Like, I'm be surprised you go out there and you finish a top 15 guys next for you.
I would hope so. I would absolutely hope so. But also at the same time, if I don't get that chance or I don't get that opportunity, I don't mind working my ass off to get up to the top 15 because it's inevitable for me. Because like whether I knock him out or we go to a decision, I believe it's gonna build up my resume. And then after that, like if they still don't want me to fight the top 15 guy, I'm gonna search for the toughest guy who's not ranked. And because I want to prove my worth, I want to be able to prove that I belong to fight the best fighters in the world. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. Whether it shoots me to the top 15 or if it kind of slows, they take the slow route, So it doesn't matter to me. I'm just here to work my ass off and give everybody a show.
You're a guy that you like to call your shot. Like you call out an opponent normally after a win. Like, do you already have a name in mind, or does that come closer to fight? You'll think of someone.
Well, the name call out, like where I already had in mind, is because like it was like pretty much like he called me out before, like he called me out before, and I was just returning like, hey, I wasn't not taking your call out. I was already signed to fight somebody else. So that fight would be a good one too, because that's the first guy who's ever called me out in the UFC, and I wouldn't mind taking that fight either. I wouldn't mind going back and fighting Nathan, but by now, if he hasn't fought and he hasn't gotten a win since his last fight, I think whenever he fought Luke Sanders, I know he was supposed to fight this year, but I don't know what happened. But if he hasn't gotten a win, then to me, it's kind of just like, hey, like, there's no point. I've been active. I've been fighting. I already have I have 3 UFC wins. I think he's 1-0 or 1-1. But it wouldn't, to me, I'm just like, yeah, you're kind of like, you're the opposite of where I'm trying to go. Like, I'm not trying to go back and fight number 50 whenever I have number like 35 in front of me. And if I get that win, I'm like, all right, cool. I get to 20 to 30, anywhere from that range, and work my way down to the top 15. So I'm not trying to work my way back. I'm trying to work my way forward.
You're on a bit of a streak too. 2 UFC fights, 2 50K bonuses. You looking to do it again, the three-peat?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Man, I'm trying to get the consecutive. I'm trying to get the record for the consecutive knockouts, or fight of the night bonuses, whatever. You know, I'm trying to get the consecutive record for bonuses for each fight. You know, I don't know what that stat is, but if I get it my next fight, and then I get it the fight after that, I'm pretty sure I'm the guy who's consistently got the fight of the night bonus, like 4 straight in a row. Which I'm hoping to do, which I really am hoping to do, because man, dude, who doesn't like money?
Just a couple more things. Is a smaller octagon. Like, do you think that basically forces you guys? It's already going to be a firefight, but do you think it just kind of makes it like that much quicker to happen?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I don't mind the smaller cage. I'm still have yet to fight in the big cage.
Yeah, I guess you actually haven't, because you were on the contender series, and then you've been in the Apex. You haven't been on one of these cards, the fans.
Yeah, and pretty much the biggest octagon or the cage that I fought has been in LFA or Fury, and those sizes still aren't the size of the big octagon cage. Like, it's not the big octagon that they use for pay-per-views. It's still a little bit smaller than the Apex. So for me, I'm like, hey, this is plenty of room for me. I don't care. Like, I don't care. I can still move around. I don't need all this space. Like, man, matter of fact, can you shorten it up a little bit? So to me, it doesn't matter. I'm good. Like, the size of the ring doesn't matter. It's all about the skill of the fighter.
I saw on Twitter you guys agreed to like that month supply bet. Is that still going? Where if you win, you get Dr. Pepper?
Oh yeah, man. I'm using that to its full extent. I'm gonna use it to its full extent, because man, whenever Thanksgiving and in December come around, man, I'm definitely gonna be downing those, because I plan on staying very active until the end of the year, until like December hits and then January hits. Like, I'm probably gonna take those months off, but I'm trying to be very active. Like, I haven't like I'm trying to have like at least 2 more fights after this fight. So I'm trying to stay really active. So I'm going to save those until December and then have a blast.
It kind of sucks you guys are going at it, because I don't really drink pop, but when I do, it's Dr. Pepper. But then like Reese's is my favorite candy, so there's no real rooting interest for me.
All right, man, I'm about to leave. No, I get it. I just like, I get the love for it, you know, but there's definitely better candies out there, man. Like, I went down this rabbit hole once. You know what? I'm gonna do it again. You can definitely go buy high quality chocolate and go get yourself high quality peanut butter and make yourself some better Reese's, man. I'm telling you guys, you guys are living, you know, like, trust me, it's not that much more. It's not that much more. Actually, it'll probably be more cost efficient instead of buying these little packs, you know, that come in 2 for $1. You know, it'll only last you for those 2, because you're gonna run through those. Instead, you can buy yourself like a $2, some really good quality, like $2, $3, depending on where you get it, peanut butter, and then you get yourself some high quality chocolate, which again probably $3, $4, $7. Like, oh yeah, dude, I've gone down this rabbit hole of where you can make this better. You can even buy the healthier version, and it'll still be better than Reese's.
All right, well, Adrian, man, I appreciate it as always. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, man, no problem, man. Thank you.